First of all, it's just a real honor to be here today to celebrate the dedication of this monument. Today's an extremely personal day for me, really because I can't think of two more transformative things in my life than being at Ruston High School and serving in the United States Army. As some of you may know, I arrived at Ruston High School as a freshman late September of 2005. I was displaced from St. Bernard Parish due to Hurricane Katrina. During my time here at Ruston High, some amazing things happened. I made friends who I still trust and cherish to this day. I was fortunate to serve as a drumline captain for a couple of years with a wonderful man, Mr. Moss, who you guys may know. And most importantly, I met my wife of 12 years, Ashley. My time in the United States Army came later, after I became a dentist in 2017 from graduating at LSU. My first year was spent in a residency program at Fort Lewis, Washington. Honestly, when I was in Fort Lewis, it was a residency program. It was all about learning how to become a better dentist, how to treat patients, do advanced procedures. I really didn't feel a whole lot like I was in the Army that first year that I was on active duty. However, things were going to take a drastic turn after that. I had our residency director sit me down one day, and he said, "Hey, Trey, I really think you would enjoy the soldier aspect of this career as a dental officer. I'm going to recommend that you go ahead and apply for a spot with the 82nd Airborne Division." And I knew a little bit about that unit at the time. Didn't really know what I was going to get into, but I knew that if I took this job, I was going to have to go to jump school or airborne school. And let's just say that I went ahead and applied for it, and I got it. Funny story is when I got to the unit, I said, "Hey, how many other people applied for this job?" They said, "You were the only one, so we took you." Needless to say, there weren't a whole lot of dental officers, people that had gone to 8 to 9 years of college that were willing to sign up and live the paratrooper lifestyle. But it was one of the greatest decisions I've made in my entire life. So I want to share a story about my airborne or jump school experience, because I think as I talk about it, you guys will see how important it is to just respect and just appreciate the veterans that have come before us. So, jump school is in Fort Benning, Georgia. I was there. It was a hot month, August of 2018. And jump school is divided into 3 separate weeks. It hasn't changed much for some of the older ones that are out here that have done it. You have ground week, which is the first week, tower week, and then jump week. Ground week is exactly what it sounds like. You spend a lot of time just getting thrown into gravel pits over and over. You learn how to fall properly when you hit the ground. You run absolutely everywhere you have to go. You're not allowed to walk. You have to knock out 10 pull-ups before you come in and out of any building. And by the end of the week, you're pretty bruised, sore, and exhausted, but you've learned some discipline and some resilience. The second week is tower week. That's when you start facing your fears pretty literally. You're lifted up high in the air. You learn about your parachute harness. You learn some about the aircraft that you're soon to be jumping from. But more importantly, you learn how much of a team effort it is for a few hundred paratroopers to exit an aircraft safely. Then there's jump week. This is the week that no one will ever forget. At this point, you're in a lot of pain. Your body aches from about 2 weeks of punishment. However, though, your adrenaline is pretty high because you know you're about to exit an aircraft. You start to think about the roar of the engines, the rush of the wind when that door opens at 1,250 feet, and the organized chaos of soldiers moving forward, one after the other, towards that open door. You can feel your heart beating out of your chest. And for a split second, when you jump, you experience an insane blast of air and total uncertainty. But then as your parachute opens, there's complete silence. Everything slows down. It's peaceful, beautiful, humbling. It was during jump week that I experienced a really, really profound moment of pride and motivation. As we sat in our parachute gear for what felt like hours on end waiting to get into the aircraft, we were in an area called the pack shed where there's about 300 to 400 jumpers waiting on about 2 or 3 planes, and you're just sitting in an old grimy shed with no air conditioning, anything, and you're just miserable. However, during this time, the cadre in jump school, they had TVs placed strategically all across the pack shed. And as far as I know, it had been tradition for a couple decades to put on a show that many of you may have watched called Band of Brothers. And Band of Brothers, if you don't know, is about Easy Company from the 101st Airborne Division that served in World War II, a very legendary unit. Now, all of us were pretty scared waiting on that first jump. You know, obviously, human beings weren't designed to be tossed out of aircraft. But as I sat there watching the show, I thought about how brave those veterans were before us. To exit an aircraft, to jump into a hot landing zone, taking small and heavy arms fire, and then there was a clear understanding that not everybody was going to make it home. And on the other side of things, here I am about to board a beautiful Air Force C-130 with sophisticated equipment. There were medical personnel waiting on the ground in case anything happened to us, and there was no enemy fire to have to worry about dodging or being hit with. It hit me then. The courage and the sacrifice of previous generations of veterans is something that continues to inspire and motivate those of us who have served and are serving today. Their bravery paved the way for us, and their example still lights the path forward. The 5 years that I had in the Army were some of the most challenging, but also most rewarding years of my life. Ashley and I welcomed 3 daughters into the world during that time. Each one was born while I was serving, and that experience truly deepened my understanding of what military families sacrifice and endure. It reminded me that service is never something you do alone. Your family serves right alongside you. Their patience, strength, and love are what holds everything together. When I look back, I realize how both Ruston High School and the Army shaped me in the same way. I learned about service, leadership, teamwork, and perseverance. At Ruston High, those lessons came from the band, teachers, coaches, friends. In the Army, they came from soldiers, mentors, and the missions that we had. Both experiences gave me something priceless, a sense of belonging and purpose that I will carry with me each and every day of my life. The words on this monument perfectly capture what this day is all about as we head to Veterans Day. This monument doesn't just honor one person. It's not me, it's not any individual. It's every single Ruston High graduate who raised their hand and swore an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States. It stands as a timeless symbol now of gratitude, reminding us that the spirit of service runs deep in this community and in this school. It reminds us that the courage of the past will continue to shape the future. Before I close, I want to take a moment to thank a few people who made this day possible. I know there's a lot to name, but we'll keep it simple here. The Ruston High School Alumni Association, just for the vision and dedication to bring this monument to life. Thank you to the school. The choir did a fantastic job, by the way. Can you give these guys a hand? It sounded amazing. But thank you to all the school leadership, the students who are here and helped make this ceremony so meaningful. And a special thank you to our local veterans, the families of those veterans, and all in the community here who came out to show their support and help us honor all those who have served. We're standing here before Veterans Day, which is next Tuesday, and I hope this monument will remind us to honor our veterans not just one day a year, but every day with our gratitude, our actions, and our continued service to others. May this monument serve as a daily reminder that the values we teach here in Ruston, honor, integrity, courage, and service, these do not end at graduation. They live on through the lives of those who carried them into the world and through all the students who will walk past this monument for generations to come. Ruston High is more than a school. It truly is a family, and I can tell you that. Today, that family is honoring a very special part of its heritage, Bearcats who answered the call to serve. Thank you so much, guys. God bless our veterans, God bless Ruston High, and God bless the United States.